What's up guys, it's Phil, and today I'm going to show you how to do a quick DIY. So I've got a lot going on right now. I'm in my busiest season, and so I'm working on some videos, but I just don't have time to really put out a lot of stuff. But I do have this quick and easy project that I've been wanting to do for a while, so I figured I would share it with you guys. So take a minute, get out your notebooks, go grab these materials, and get started on this awesome little project. So here's the short list of materials you're going to need. Go to your local big box store and pick up one of these. You can usually find it in the orange store where all of the big trim boards and like your oak and poplar and cedar, all that stuff. It's usually down underneath there. There's project panels, which are pine laminated, and then there's also these round pieces, which are considered tabletops or stools or whatever they are. You can usually find them. If you can't find them, just make sure to ask somebody. But this is the main piece we're gonna need, and it's kind of awesome because it's already done. I don't have to get out a router and cut this myself. I don't have to laminate it. It's done, and it's like $8. The second thing you're gonna need is some lacquer. So I got some spar urethane lacquer. The second thing you're gonna need is some spar urethane. Now I've chosen to get the spray kind because it'll just be quicker and easier on this project, and I don't have a lot of use for spar urethane in my shop, so I try to buy it sparingly. So I know that based on the size of this thing, I'll get about 1 can's worth. Will give me about 2 to 3 coats for what I need for this project. So 1 can, good to go. Now this thing's kind of cool, and this is an optional thing, but I chose to get it. It is a 36-inch hang-all Velcro strap. It has a carabiner that holds up to 300 pounds, a swivel, which is great, and the whole thing is one giant piece of Velcro. So the reason I picked this up is because I think it will work pretty well to put around the branch of the tree, and then, you know, they can hang the swing from this. That's specifically for me. If you have another idea or a different way of hanging your swing, hey, go for it. I think this thing's kind of cool, and also it makes it removable, so that means that I could either move it to a different tree or I could take it with me when we go. So we'll see how this works out. Probably not what it's supposed to be used for, but I don't really care, and the only people that are going to be swinging on this weigh less than 50 pounds anyway, so not too concerned. The last thing you'll need is 25 feet or more of rope. Now I have got this rope. It's a braided, twisted nylon and polyester rope. I got about 30 feet or so because that's what I think it's going to be from the branch that I'm going to hang it from. The advantage of going and getting this stuff at the big box store, unlike me where you buy it on the spool, is that I've got it sitting around my shop usually for hanging bed swings, but if you've got to get it for this project specifically, you can measure how much you need, and then you can go to the store, they'll cut exactly that length and only charge you for it. So definitely measure your tree first, make sure you have enough rope, maybe add on an extra 2 to 4 feet, and then go purchase that, and you have it ready for your project. So now let's talk tools. You're not gonna need much. So this project is pretty easy. The main thing you will need is going to be either a drill press or a handheld drill with a press, or just a handheld drill and a really steady hand. You'll also need a Forstner bit that fits the size rope that you have. Now, mine is just shy of 1 inch, so I'm going to go with 1 inch Forstner bit, cut the hole all the way down through it, and then just kind of sand it by hand. I'm not going to worry about re-rounding the hole with a router or anything like that. You can do that if you have a handheld router and you would like to, but I'm choosing not to do that on this particular project, just to make it super, super easy to do. Obviously a little bit of sandpaper is going to help because you're going to be cleaning up some edges and also getting this thing, you know, cleaned up. If you want to add some wood stain, you want to have all that stuff done before you stain it. It comes pretty smooth, but you want to make sure to sand it again, even from the big box store. Scissors or a sharp knife is going to be a good thing to have for cutting the rope, and really that's all I can think of right now. So to start this project, I'm going to find the center of this, and like I said earlier, I'm going to just kind of measure, do a bunch of crisscrosses, and see what I can do to approximate what the center is. From there, I'm going to take it over to my drill press, and I'm going to use the Forstner bit to drill a hole directly through and go all the way through. That'll give me a nice, you know, close to center hole that I can fit my rope through. I can tie a knot underneath, and that will hold it in place. So I just realized this thing doesn't actually even fit on my drill press, which is not a smart move. of me. So if you have a big drill press with a long wide neck, hey great, go for it. If not, go ahead and switch to your handheld drill, attach your Forstner bit to that, and we're just gonna do it by hand. The next thing that I'm gonna do for this particular project is go ahead and do my sanding now. That way it is done, it is out of the way, everything is cleaned up, smoothed out, and I can go ahead and move on to finishing this piece. One modification I think I actually am going to make to this is I'm going to take a single piece of wood and I'm going to cut some oblong holes in it and add it across the center here so that it's going, you see how all my wood is going this way? I'm going to have it go this way, and that's going to give me some support underneath. The oblong holes that I drill is going to allow the wood to expand and contract seasonally, which it probably will do being that it's going to be outside. And that's also going to give me an anchor point so that when I push my rope through, it'll have something really sturdy for that knot to butt up against, as opposed to just this cheap crappy pine. So I am going to do that. It's optional. My kids are not heavy enough that they're going to break this, but just over time, I know those things wear out. I also know that every once in a while, some of my friends come over to the shop and we, you know, so who knows how much weight might actually be on this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as a support on the bottom of this thing. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and start finishing this thing. And what I'm going to do is use a wood aging chemical. It's kind of like a stain, but it's water-based. It dries quickly, and I actually like the result that it gives on crappy pine like this. So I'm going to go ahead and coat this with that stuff, turn it nice and brown, and then once it's dry in a couple of hours, I can go ahead and start applying the spar urethane. I'm going to let that sit between the first two coats, give it a nice sanding, and then go ahead and apply the final coat and let it sit for probably a day or two to make sure that it's fully cured before I expose it to the elements. Alright, once you've got your final coat of lacquer on, we're going to reset our screws. So I've got some stainless steel washers with a tiny little hole, and I've got some stainless steel square drive screws that are made specifically for hardwoods, which, I mean, pine isn't really a hardwood, obviously, but it'll still work. So with the oblong holes on the ends, we can have a little bit of wood movement and it's not going to hurt anything. And with the set holes in the middle, it's going to hold everything nice and flat. And this will be good because with it being pine, there's a good chance that it's going to bow one way or the other. So this piece is going to not only hold that together, but also prevent it from bowing or bending when the kids are actually using it. All right, now the final step is going to be using this Velcro strap to hang the swing where I want it to go. I did this because this Velcro thing is much stronger. It can actually hold me up if I wanted it to. Obviously my kids are nowhere near as heavy as me, so I'm going to hang this and wrap it around the tree branch, and that way it is removable. So to hang the strap, simply undo the Velcro and put it at the section of branch that you want it to be at. Go ahead and reattach the Velcro tight, but not too tight, because remember the tree is going to continue to grow. But luckily you can adjust this thing as needed. So go ahead and put it tight enough that it won't move, but not too tight where it's going to get stuck or break being attached to the tree when it's exposed to the elements. The next step is going to be to run the rope up through your swing, tie off your knots, and attach it to the carabiner that's hanging from the tree and from the strap, and get everything adjusted exactly where you want it to for your kids to be able to swing on it. So to make this adjustable later, I'm going to use my slack, and I'm going to keep this rope about where I think my kids are going to want it. And I'm going to start by making a loop on the swing side. So I'm going to start by making a loop, and then using that loop, I'm going to bring another loop through that loop using the slack that's going up to the tree. So I've got the slack coming down through a loop that goes through a loop, okay? And that's gonna be where I'm gonna start. Now this is gonna cinch up tight, but it'll be easy enough to break apart later if I need to. So that's basically a glorified bowline slash slip knot combination. And then what I'm gonna do now is, with the carabiner up top, I'm actually able to now adjust the swing up and down by pulling on the slack. So if I want it about here, which is where I think my kids are gonna need it, I can now go through the loop that I've just made and pull up, okay? And this is what's going to give me the adjustability later. So up here we're going to tie a large cinch knot. I can feel this thing stretching. That stretched pretty well. That's probably good for my kids, but in your case, if it's a brand new rope and it stretched too far, it's very simple to fix, and that's why we made it adjustable. Simply pop your slip knot, and then look up here and go ahead and undo this single knot right there, holding the rope in place. You want to slide your cinch knot up, higher. Now the swing is higher. You can take your rope, go back through your loop like you had earlier, and tie your knot up top. It's a little too high for me to reach right now, but that's how easy it is to adjust. And same thing, if it's too high, simply pull down, and there you go. There we go. So all of this is going to stretch out a little bit as we go. But I'm going to let my kids hop on it and see what they think. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm sorry for the wind out there. It's just a little crazy today, but that's just the way it is here in Tennessee. I hope this project is cheap and easy enough for most of you guys out there. I really enjoyed it, and my kids are absolutely loving the swing. Every time they come out to visit me here at the shop, they're swinging on it. Even before I even got this video done, they were already obsessed with it. So, hey, get out there, build yourself one of these, build it with your kids, because it's a super easy project that's super fun to do with basic tools and stuff you can buy at your home store. If you like this project, get out there and go do it with your kids. It's an awesome project for spring. I have had my swing hanging out here for a couple of months actually, and it has made it through snow, it has made it through rain, it has made it through sun, it's made it through all kinds of stuff. So I think this is a pretty long-lasting project, which is pretty awesome and fun for the whole family. If you do end up making this project, definitely hit me up on social media. I am at PMK Woodworking on Instagram, on Facebook, and I think on Twitter as well. So go ahead and hit me up on there. Show me your project and show me how you did it and if you did anything differently, and definitely let me know because I love seeing when you guys do my projects. Again, this project is super easy, super simple, uses basic tools and supplies you can pick up at a local home store, and you can actually do this whole project in less than a weekend. I'd like to say a special thanks to Charlie Pants for sponsoring my channel. They provide the awesome pants that you see me wearing in all of my updates and probably saw when I was swinging on the swing out here at the end of the video. If you want to see why they're awesome, just click right here and check that out because they're pretty cool. And if you go on their website and use the code PMK20 for the rest of 2020, you're going to get 20% off of your first order, which is awesome. And you should sign up for their rewards program so that you know when they've got extra stuff coming out, which is awesome as well. So once again, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye!